Hi everyone, Mrs. Red here from Mrs. Red's Art Room, and today we're going to be having a look at what is inside the September Red's Art Cart 2017. I have a little product here with me. Any clues as to what the theme might be about? How about we go have a look? Okie dokie groovers, this is what's in the September Red's Art Cart. It's a printmaking month. Woohoo! I haven't done printmaking since I was back at uni, which was early 90s, so we're going back about 25 years. So I'm really looking forward to being able to explore these again because I did a lot of it back then and a lot has changed since then as well. Let's start over this side and we'll work our way through. We start with the hard rubber roller, which is basically a hard edge rather than a spongy edge. The SD brand, this one's the smallest of the hard rollers, 50 mil, which is what we're all getting, and it goes up to a 300 mil. So a good, and there's 2 or 3 sizes in between, so it's a good range of sizes. The lino tools, these are a great little kit because you're getting the 5 little nibs with all different thicknesses with the one handle, so nice and compact with that one. With the ink that we're getting, it's the Speedball block printing ink. We're all getting one colour each. The one that I'm going to be demonstrating with is the black. It comes in about, I think there's about 8 different colours, then the black and the white ink as well. Then onto the lino, I guess we'll just refer to them as. 2 types and 2 different thicknesses that I've chosen for this month. This one here is what is supposedly meant to be a substitute for lino. It is quite thin, very, very flexible, and it won't crumble, which is one of the problems that I always had when I was doing it, is it would just crumble and make such a mess. It was really hard to use. So this one it's actually called Lino Soft. So it won't crumble on you, it's very soft, but it's also still very hard, which means it can actually go through one of those big heavy printing presses. If anyone's fortunate enough to get their hands on one or knows someone who has one, then well done to you, because I loved using those big printing presses. It is textured one side. It's a bit hard to see. There we go. The texture on that side, and then if I flip it, you can see that that's very smooth. Now it says that you can use either side, so for the demonstration I will do that and we'll be able to see which side actually prints nicer for that. This one here, I'd say this has got to be new, fairly new to the market. Moo Carve, got nothing to do with cows. It is a soft PVC vinyl material, and it cuts very, very softly, supposedly as smooth as butter. It also won't crumble, which is great. But the great thing about this is that because of its thickness, you can actually work on both sides of it. So you're getting 2 pieces of lino out of one, if you choose. It depends on how thick you want to cut into it. Both of these, you don't have to keep them that size. You can actually cut them out and make little stamps with them, which it kind of what I feel like wanting to do with it. Okay, so over to here, which is all our papers. I'm going to jump straight to this one. This is the Japanese Hosho paper, and I've folded it for you so that the original size is what you can buy if you want to buy any more. I didn't want to cut it up, but if I didn't, then I think postage wise it would have been a bit silly. You can see that it's got quite a, what's it called? Is it like a mottled feel to it? So that's one side, and it's very matte and textured. And then if we flip it over to the other side, you can just see that it's a little bit shinier, but you don't lose that actual mottled feel. Beautiful paper, 75 GSM, so fairly thin, but just a really nice paper. It has been especially manufactured for lino printing. I don't know the science into it, why they've done that. Now, everything else here is a little bit of a gift from myself, Mrs. Red. The first thing is, of course, our trading card. This could be a very cool one to be sending back, to be putting into someone else's cart. With all the carts, you get an artist trading card, which is a little size card like this. It's up to you if you want to send it back. I'm not going to say that you have to. You can create a little artwork on it and keep it for yourself, or give it to one of your own friends. The other three products that I've got here, the first one is just a piece of tracing paper. Again, because I haven't done any printmaking for so many years, I just remember using it, and I thought, well, it's not hard to slip a little piece of tracing paper into everyone's art cart. So you may use this for your lino carts and you may not, but tracing paper is fantastic to always have a little bit on hand anyway. Then we've got some craft paper. It's a little bit different on both sides. You've got a bit more of a rough side there and the smooth side here. I get this in a big roll. That's why it actually is a bit curvy. Hopefully it's not curvy by the time it gets to you. But yeah, I've just cut everybody a piece each, just so that you can play a bit on this craft paper. It's really nice to make little gift tags out of. Then finally, very hard to see this piece. This is just a piece of clear plastic. It is, hang on, I'll just reach up here. This is what it actually is, binding clear covers. So I've just grabbed this from Officeworks. It was about $18 for that pack, and giving everyone a piece each, purely so that for mess wise, because you don't get a palette with this kit, and you wouldn't want a palette because palettes don't work very well for lino printing. You can put your ink onto it and then be able to roll onto it and then onto your lino, and then when you've finished, just wipe it clean, because these are water-based inks. Wipe it clean and use it again. So it's just a kind of an easy surface to work on. All right then, let's leave all those there, and I'll do a little bit of a demonstration of what all these products can do. All right, so I'm going to show you just a demonstration now of the cutting tools. I have laid the tools out. There's a little number engraved on the back of each tool, so going from 1 through to 5. So I have laid them out in order there, just so you know the thickness that I've used in this example. The other thing I've also done is cut a little piece off the Lino Soft, because remember I said that there's a soft side and a textured side, and I wanted to test what it was like on both those sides. The Moo Carve doesn't matter because it's the same on each side. Alright, so here's our little lino cutting tool, and you can see that that's the, whoops, it's hard to do that, is where we insert each little lino tool. So we'll start with number 1, and I'm just going to insert that in there, and you push it down. I've actually not released that very well. You push it down, sorry, let's start again. You have to release this, okay, just so that it loosens up that area in there, and that tool will fit in straight away, and then put it as far down as it will go, and then you just give it a little tighten and you're ready to go. Very easy with them. So I'm just going to make very boring, I shouldn't try to, oh, there we go. You should never have your hand in front of a lino tool. These are incredibly sharp, and you don't want to cut yourself. So this one is showing, gee, that's a fine line. And then we'll do the same here. A bit harder to hold that little piece that I'd cut off, because this one I've got a little bit more. You can see, oh, you could barely even see the tiny, very fine. So this you would use for fine little details that you want. Wow, that's so soft. That dug in so easily. Okay, so there's the first one. put them onto there when I've finished. Right to the bottom. Sorry, I just don't want to. Okay, it's really, really easy to do that. Especially I think as the deeper they get, the easier they are to use as well. Luckily you wouldn't use that fine one, the number 1, for too much. Gosh, this one, it's like when I'm snowboarding and the board's under the powder. Like I just did not put any force on that at all. Really, really soft. And the cuts are just getting a bit deeper, not so much wider, but just deeper, not having to press down as hard to actually make an indent. This one will be interesting. I'm going to try not to go too deep. So, kind of hard to see at the moment. It'll be easier when we put some ink on it, but I've gone really deep with that one, whereas this one I haven't gone as deep. So, lessons learned. These kind of products weren't around when I was back at uni. If you can hear a truck in the background, and I'm not sure you can because I've got the window closed, I live out in the valley of the Gold Coast and we're all on acreage out here, so we do get the nice sounds of all the birds and everything, but you also get a lot of trees being chopped down and people digging holes for various reasons. Oh, that one's really... I think it's hard for me to do this side because I'm working on such a small piece of lino. So not the best example, really. Okay, that's just, again, it's a little bit wider, but definitely a lot deeper. Hard for me to compare which side is easier to cut into because I've got the grip for here. This one, to be honest, the foam, oh, that's really, really easy to use. Okay, that was the easiest one to do out of them. That number 2 tool is really furry. I think that will come up in the printing as being very furry as well. Yeah, so when I was filming this earlier, when I was showing you the products, I had a tree being chopped down in the background. So hopefully none of that comes through. I don't mind the birds. Now this tool here, I actually don't believe I've ever used before. So I'm actually not sure what it does. I've got a feeling it just cuts. It seems to have a little blade on the end there. Yeah, it's a cutting. So maybe you can just do slices. I don't even think that's going to work. Yeah, that's just doing slices. So I might do some slices that way too and see if we get anything happening. I did try and Google what this tool does and I had no luck with it. So I have no idea if that's going to even work out. I don't think you can even see what I've done there. I've just put like a crisscross pattern through it. That last tool is the one that you would dig out a big area with. Ooh. You could actually just use this tool, and maybe this is what this is for, to actually cut out your piece of lino. So I could probably cut out a piece of lino with that. Let's see if I can cut off the side. Should be on a cutting mat because I'll blunt the tool otherwise. There we go. I think that's the answer to that tool, to actually cut a piece off, cut around it, which is good. That's handy. Alright, so now I will set up with the paint and we'll have a look at what these look like. Okay, just before we go back, move on to putting the ink down, I wanted to do two things. One, I just wanted to put another line beside this one because I don't think I was very fair with this one. I dug a bit hard and deep, and it's given furry lines, which you probably can't see there, but I can see it looks awful. The other thing is, I now know that this is obviously a cutting tool and it will cut that smaller lino very well. It'll probably go through the moo as well. But this one here, number 4, is really to dig out lots of areas. So I just want to dig out a little bit more too and leave tiny little areas so that you'll be able to see the texture. So let's just do that now. So I'm just going to put this line just in here and I'm being very gentle. You just have to put no pressure down at all. Very different cut that I've just made for that one. So lessons learned on that one. Let me make all the mistakes. You guys have all the fun. Oops. Okay, so I might after only ever working with actual lino, even though it was 20 odd years ago, I cannot believe how soft this PVC is. I also figured out why I think they called it moo, because they described it as soft as butter, and I get that now, although it doesn't smell like butter. When I took it out of the plastic, it was a bit smelly. Okay, so I've dug out enough there. You may get little impressions there, and I'll do the same on this one. You're really just digging out, removing lots of your lino, hoping to give a little bit of texture. Oh, I'm just making a absolute disaster of this one. This is maybe another good tip as well, is don't cut your lino to the size you want until you've actually finished cutting out, because this one is just really hard to grip onto, and like I said, these tools are sharp. They will give you a bad cut. You can get cutting blocks, guards I think they're called. You can also make them yourself, so if anyone's handy around the house, including yourself, you can always make them. There we go. This Lino Soft is really easy to cut out as well, I must say. Probably got a little bit more control over your actual cut rather than that one. So there we go, we've cut out some nice bits there. Let's get on with that printing now. Okay, let's get printing. So I have cut these all out now. I have used my Stanley Life metal ruler and my cutting board to do that. It was really easy too, very soft. You wouldn't want to use that little cutting tool for them though. Just put them over there now. Right, so I have the black ink. I'm not sure what all you guys are going to be getting yet. That should be more than enough for what I need right now. I'll just put that up there. Okay, so which one are we going to go first? Let's go the I keep wanting to call it a moo cow. The moo calf. Let's go that one first to do this. trying not to be too loud because I know the microphone's going to pick all this up. Okay, check your roller, make sure that you do have nice even amount on. That all looks pretty good. Very exciting here. Now I'm using the Hosho paper. I'm not going to try the craft paper because this is just the demo. There we go. With these rollers, that little bit on the back there is not just part of a design, like there is a purpose for that, and that is to be able to lay your roller down so that the ink doesn't get onto anywhere. All right. Now with stamping, some people put the stamp down and put the paper on top. I don't tend to do that because it creases your paper, but it's a personal choice. So you can do that. You'll see it on a lot of YouTube videos where people will actually put the paper down on top. Personal choice. I have to blow off cat hair all the time. I have a black cat who loves to come and sit on my artwork table. So just giving that a nice little press down. And there we go. So that's the first one. Now the next one is the smooth side of the Lino Soft. I can tell I'm going to enjoy being able to do the actual artwork for this this art card. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. Don't know what design I'm going to do yet, but stay tuned. That will be a different YouTube video. I've got a feeling that that first cut is not even going to register on this one. I can see that the ink has gone straight into it, which was the #1 cutting tool. It was such a fine cut that the ink has gone in, so again, something to be aware of. Oh, it did. You can just see it. Now remember, that's the one that I did too heavy the first time, so that's the #2 tool there. That is also the #2 tool, I think it was, yeah. And then that's the #4 tool. In the end, I haven't really wasted any black ink at all. Again, it has filled in that #1 tool. Now this is that was the soft, the smooth side. This is the textured side. Interesting. I actually quite like that textured effect, but again, if you don't want to have areas doing that, I would go for the smooth side, which was #1. Here we go. Just grab a pen. So this was the Moo. Smooth. Textured, and these two are the Lino Soft. Oh, I think that's one word. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so that's it for the demonstration. Like I had mentioned before, the next video will be of me creating an artwork on both the Lino Soft and the Moo Carve. No idea what I'm going to do yet. I've only got the black ink. It will be exciting. So look forward to that video as well. Have fun. Bye. Sorry everyone, back again. I just thought I'd mention that I've just cleaned up the acetate sheet, or the, what's it called? The clear cover. and the hard roller. That was really easy. Basically, because it is a water soluble ink, straight under the tap outside, washed all that off. With the clear cover, I just put some paper towel on it and wiped all the ink off, and then took it outside to the tap, and it just washed off easily. And then, because it's already dry, I just wiped it down with some clean paper towel. And that was the cleanup, so very easy. So I can now use that again with a different colour, etc. There we go. All right, everyone. Thanks for that. Remember to like the video as well, and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers. Bye.